everyone, welcome back to ARTV. My name is John. It's time for a very special throwback review to celebrate the 15th anniversary of a legendary record. It's the sophomore album by My Chemical Romance, Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge. Three Cheers has turned 15 years old, meaning my childhood has zipped right on by. My emo phase is long since over, at least on paper it is. Every time I hear MCR's music, I think that dark part of my heart, that little scene kid, unlocks ever so slightly and it takes you back. But this record is undeniably important, not only to the world of music, but also to the quote-unquote scene, because I think so many people were influenced by this album. After hearing their debut album, I Brought You My Bullets, You Brought Me Your Love, I think a lot of people were convinced that they would be a good band, but they didn't know if they would have the guts to really go for the glory, and they truly shed blood on this album, Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge. There's a concept packed in here, and while they went even bigger and more grandiose on The Black Parade that followed up just 2 years later, which is my personal favorite from them, you cannot deny how impactful this record was. Just to the sound of My Chemical Romance, what they would do, the voice of a future generation. Thrashing and guttural guitars line the entire record. These huge, thundering drum performances from Matt Pelliser are really felt on the majority of the tracks here. It's just unreal how hard-hitting some of them are. And then these raw vocal performances from Gerard that can go from kind of manic to also emotional. It's really casting a wide net here, but they reel it all in and keeps you hooked not only because of the music, but also the story that I didn't truly appreciate at first. There's a concept running all throughout this LP, and the main idea is that our protagonist has had his love pass away. She died, and now he's gone to the devil to make a deal, and as we all know, that could never go wrong when you sign a contract with the devil, right? No, it turns out it goes totally wrong. The devil's deal is that he has to kill 1,000 souls before he can get his love back, before realizing at the very end that, oh no, the 1,000th evil soul was him, and he has to kill himself, and once again, he is separated and taken away from his love. It's a pretty fucked up and twisted tale. Excuse me, Romeo and Juliet, you think that's twisted? You think that's morbid? Three Cheers says I have entered the chat. MCR's gusto and sense of bravado on this album is simply brilliant. The chemistry that they display here is unlike anything else. When these songs are really just firing off, they take a western-leaning feel, they take a kind of thrashing punk feel, and then they strip it back, go a little bit more alternative goth. It's really a little bit all over the place, but again, the kinetic energy, it's all swarming in the exact same realm of ideas, and I always loved it for that, and I continue to 15 years on. Rarely in your life are you gonna see a frontman as charismatic as Gerard Way. He truly goes all out for these performances, and what they did both live and of course here on the record is truly just a feat. I feel that that's a height that they really hit in their career, and obviously I feel that they even outdid themselves once again on The Black Parade, but still, something to be said for this record is the fact that it goes slightly underrated because everyone associates them with maybe The Black Parade and those outfits and everything. Don't forget the Three Cheers era. I mean, we had the fantastic singles that were really killing it. Also, the music videos to go along with it. Helena is absolutely spectacular. That is a visual masterpiece. I love the choreography on that. Also, I'm Not Okay, the storytelling there, the way that it brings the lyrics to life. It's just truly fantastic. And then I can't go without mentioning The Ghost of You, because the visual there, it talks about war, and it kind of subjugates us to the fact that maybe this song has different levels to it, and that's what I appreciate about Three Cheers. There's parallels all throughout between, yes, the story of this album, which is a loose concept, but also the fact that this record just hammers them home for something that we can see in real life, a real urgency there. Frank Iero and Ray Toro shredded up throughout this LP, and it really does just smack you upside the face. Sometimes you forget about how incredible their riffs sound and just how memorable and hard-hitting they can be, and the same goes for the drum performances here. They just drive so many of these cuts like Thank You For The Venom, Hang 'Em High, so many other tracks on here that just go off of the leash to really just enthrall you, draw you into the sense and appeal of the song. For the tracklist breakdown today, I'm going to try and mix it up just a bit since this is one of my personal favorite albums of all time. I'm going to go track by track and try and add a little bit of insight and commentary as we go. Dramatic heights are reached right away on the opening cut, Helena, which was my first MCR song. As I mentioned, the music video made me fall in love, but I heard the track on its own first, and I was absolutely engrossed. I was like, what the hell is this? This sounds amazing. It sounds like a play come to life, but it's like rocking too. And while this album wasn't quite in rock opera, this was talking about the death of a loved one. Tonight, everything felt like it was on the verge of something, and they did a great job with the urgency, with the feeling of now. Give 'Em Hell Kid opens up with that deep, dark bass and some distorted guitar riffs that I really jump all over. It has a fantastic hook to it that I've always felt was a bit underrated. This song in general, it's always been one of the deep cuts, if you will, that I know a lot of the fans absolutely adore, but this one just stands on another level to me. The chomping drum performance on To The End stands so tall. To this day, I love that, and obviously the aspect of the backing vocals, which really just add a nice touch and layer to the song. The chorus in the build to said chorus is one of the best on the entire record. The mood shifts a bit for You Know What They Do to Guys Like Us in Prison, which is in my top 5 at this point in terms of favorite MCR tracks, which, side note, if you want to see an updated top 20 list, then let me know with a comment down below and by dropping a like on this video. You Know What They Do to Guys Like Us in Prison is simply orgasmic. I love the fluttering guitars that are very light on their feet at first, and then the vocals from Gerard, especially once he gets to the Say Your Prayers and then it all breaks in and the guitars just give you a little throat punch there. This song, it's something that presents itself kind of two-faced. It starts off light and then it turns out to be a huge monstrous beast. I'm not okay, I promise. As soon as you hear that opening riff, I guarantee you're over here like maybe that's just me and what I do in the privacy of my own home or car, but I can't resist. Anytime this track comes on, the guitars are just a slice of life. The thundering drums, the storytelling on this track is so good. I think a lot of people don't appreciate it for that. You know, you hear the track and you think, oh yeah, I'm not okay. Obviously, I know that. But the way that they actually made this song come together is immaculate. Okay, MCR, I see you. You make me spill my fucking guts on I'm not okay because, yeah, of course, none of us are actually okay, are we? And then we go into The Ghost of You, which is probably, in my opinion, the most emotional song from MCR on this album. Obviously, that might be easy to say because it has a slower tempo and it has a different genre styling. I would say kind of an alternative goth thing that they have going on. But I love this song for the sense that they're able to convey so much. There's a heart all over this one, and they're able to transcend what I think a lot of people would expect of them. You look at MCR and you're like, ugh, these goth guys, these emo guys, I don't like that. They're in all black and they got makeup on. But they actually have something that cuts so deep on The Ghost of You. This song starts off with a nice, differently tuned guitar, light drumming on this one, and then the chorus is something that just hits this huge swell, a little crescendo there, and then the bridge of this track, a little breakdown and guitar, and then the whole vocal thing and the refrain from Gerard Way. This song screams just, oh my god, I might have to break down and cry after I play this. Next up is one of the weirdest songs on the entire album, and that's saying something. The Jetset Life Is Gonna Kill You. This has a kind of sharp-edged build up to the chorus. It starts off very light. It has kind of a little bit of a keyboard linger to it, and then it goes into an actual little drum crescendo, and it slowly builds up. And then you cut in those guitars, like I said, kind of sharp moving into the chorus, and then it soars there, and Gerard feels very angry, but on the bridge of this track, the vocal styling is unique, to say the least. It's an interesting choice, and then as he cries out, oh sugar, and then it moves back in again, it's just kind of a weird twist that I've always appreciated. This is an underrated one. Shout out to the next track, The Interlude, which has always been the track that if I'm listening to this bed late at night in bed, especially when I was younger, I'm starting to kind of doze off, I'm falling asleep right after this one ends because this is a little bit more ambient and slow. Thank You For The Venom comes crashing in and wakes me the hell up. So give me all your poison, give me all your pills, give me all your hopeless hearts, and make me ill. I've always loved the lyrical content on this one. Thank You For The Venom was one of my early favorites that made me fall in love with My Chemical Romance. Just the all over the place kind of zany performance from Gerard Way on this one, and the heaviness, the kind of doom and the feeling that the guitars give you. It's something that's almost unnerving. The Wild West looks great on the band as they pull out Hang 'Em High next, and this is a tune that features that whistle and then this hammering drum performance that makes you kind of feel like, oh, they didn't really tell me that that was coming. They break out this whistle and you're like, all right, we're about to go into a saloon here, and it's like, oh no, all of a sudden they rip the floor out and we're falling into an emo goth disco, and now Gerard Way is just ripping out this crazy vocal performance. It's not a fashion statement, it's a fucking Deathwish is one of the best My Chemical Romance songs ever recorded. The piercing guitars are absolutely just transcendent here. I love how just melancholic it feels at the back and the tone of this song, but overall, the feeling is just guttural. They're sitting here just knifing us over and over again with how fast and how furious the music feels. It's iconic, honestly. Inching closer to the end of the record is Cemetery Drive. This is a song that I feel is one of the most important in terms of the narrative and the style that this album was going for. I think that Cemetery Drive presents us with the idea of the fact that he knows that maybe he's not going to reconnect with his love, who has passed away. He wants to be there, but he's starting to realize exactly what he's doing and coming to terms with all of these souls that he's been killing, everything up to this point. And then the I miss you so bad in the chorus, it gives us that sting and that persistence that moves us into the closing track on the album that really wraps everything up in the best way possible. I Never Told You What I Do for a Living is something that I slept on for far too long. For whatever reason, I think maybe back when I was a kid, I would turn off the record early, or maybe I would just get tired by that point because I would often listen before bed, and I didn't always make it to this track, and I underappreciated it. I now have so much respect for this tune because it changes pace like so many different times. It's like something come to life that doesn't know exactly what it wants to be, but that's okay. It doesn't feel like an identity crisis. It just kind of feels like they're psyching us out. And then Gerard screams and the breakdowns, the guitars on this track go so hard, man, they pop off, they're in your face. And he's also saying like, well, I guess this isn't really gonna work out at all. I never told you what I do for a living. Well, apparently I take and kill souls, but then I realized that I am the final evil soul that I gotta take care of. So, I guess I'm kinda fucked here. Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge released in June of 2004 and is now 15 years old at the time of recording this video. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the record as much as I have over this time, and if you haven't ever heard this record in full, then please check it out. There's a link to stream it down below. As I mentioned, it's one of my favorite albums of all time, and this is obviously a strong 5 out of 5, a perfect score for me. I don't know how much stronger you can get than 5 out of 5, but it's still a strong 5. Leave your thoughts and memories of Three Cheers in the comments section down below, and please drop a like on the video while you're here. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, then that would be awesome of you if you would like to do that, and you happen to be new in town. If you want to see me rank all of the MCR albums, then tap right here, or tap over here if you want to see my review of The Black Parade for its 10th anniversary. If you want to see an updated top 20, then leave a comment if you want to see top 20 MCR, and I'll see you soon for more right here on ARTV.